free. So November 21st was my last appointment. I'm about 7.5 months pregnant at this point, from going back to the doctor and stuff like that. So November 21st or November 15th was my last appointment with Dr. B until I moved back to Orlando. So here's December. We're packing up the house, leaving Fort Lauderdale. We decided to move back to Orlando. So we pack up our house, we leave. I get to Orlando. I end up slipping. Now, remind y'all, I'm 8 months pregnant once we get to Orlando. I ended up slipping in a grocery store. I can't remember, but all I remember is I ended up slipping, hurting myself, having to go to the hospital. They take me to Advent Health. When I go to Advent Health, they immediately admit me because it's a slip and fall. I'm 8 months pregnant. I have a high-risk baby. I have high blood pressure. I also have a baby with heart problems, come to find out. So Dr. B did tell me that he noticed some holes in the baby heart, which is not gonna be good. So I forgot to tell y'all that part. See, so much stuff that happened to me with this pregnancy, y'all, that I didn't tell a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know, and I'm starting to open up a little bit more, being that we're, you know, doing YouTube. But he did tell me like little bits and pieces, but he said he's gonna wait until I get like 8 or 9 months to send me to a heart doctor, because he didn't think that I'm able to see a heart doctor. He wanted to see how well the baby performs, forms. So mind you, I'm at the hospital in Orlando at this point. We're in Orlando, Florida at this point, my hometown. Yay! So the doctors admit me. They immediately call a whole team. They call NICU. They call a cardiologist in here. They call a specialist that deal with high-risk pregnancies, such as babies with Downs. He deals with baby with cerebral palsy. He deals with baby that can't hear. He deals with just like specializes in different type of disabilities that babies are normally born with. So that doctor, they call in him. They call in a genealogist, if I'm saying it correctly, the doctor that run your genes and see what's in your genes. They call in a neurologist. They call in a gastroenterologist. They introduced me to all of these doctors. Mind you, I just came there for a simple slip and fall. And being to the fact that I haven't been to the doctor in a whole month, because at this time when I fall, actually I was 6 before we left. So at this point, I'm 8 months. I'm 8 months pregnant. I haven't been to a doctor since I was 6.5 months, because I felt like my doctor wasn't no need for me to really see him. I was just not listening. I had 7 babies before, so it wasn't nothing that nobody could tell me differently about this baby. And I'm not gonna let them tell me. I'm gonna treat this baby and I'm gonna treat this pregnancy the same. So I'm seeing all of these doctors. I'm overwhelmed. I'm in the hospital. I'm crying because I don't really understand what all of these doctors mean. It's kind of hard for me to wrap it around in my head that I'm gonna have to deal with all of these doctors. And as the main OBGYN on the floor is explaining to me, like what are all these different doctors he's called to come meet with me, so that I can get my appointment set up to go see them and get ready for the baby to come and that nature. And then I needed to see them before I deliver so they can have me. So she want her to come out of the room with her so we can have an established relationship before the baby comes. But in all reality, the only doctors that I really saw was the cardiologist, the specialist that deal with the high-risk pregnancy, and the neurologist. And must I add, Dr. Reyes, he's a cardiologist. He's located in Maitland, Florida. He's the best cardiologist in Orlando, y'all. So they schedule all of my follow-ups. I go home. They just tell me to, you know, be on bed rest because I'm possibly I'm at a point where I might have to be delivered. They might have to take the baby because of all the health issues. They don't know if her heart can take it for me to push. That high-risk doctor, he being informs me, he's like, she's doing well. She's developing fine. Yeah, she has holes in her heart. Yeah, she's gonna be born with these different things, but we'll know the extent of it when she's born. So don't stress yourself. Just worry about having a safe delivery. So from that point, that's what I started doing. I started getting in my positive spaces, not listening to what family telling me about kids with Down syndrome, not listening to what everybody's saying, joining local Facebook groups, reaching out to people. I reached out to a young lady who put me in touch with this special person in my life. Like, this lady will always hold a place in my heart because she literally made me understand. Janae, she literally, see, y'all hear me yelling at Janae? She literally made me understand what the extent of having a child with Down syndrome is, what I'm gonna go through, and like, it literally mentally prepared me and my husband, like, literally to the day I was in the hospital. This lady had called me each and every day, and I just love me some Simone. She literally did, and to this day she still checks up on me. We still kind of keep in touch, even though we all work. So fast forward, the garage. Fast forward, my cardiologist.
You heard that?
No, not cardiologist. My cardiologist recommended I go to the hospital within a few days because he went and my blood pressure was kind of high. So he calls my other OB, high-risk OB, and tell him that my blood pressure was a little high. He needed to check on me. So I went to the doctor. Thank God my blood pressure was down. That's because I was eating all them salt and vinegar fucking chips, y'all. I didn't mean to cuss, but he admits me to the hospital. So I call my husband. He at work at this point. I'm like, yo, the doctor is telling me I need to go home and pack my bag. I'm going to the hospital, and in a couple days he'll schedule me for a delivery. He like, what? We went in like, we got a whole nother week, or a whole nother 2 weeks to be exact. It's only March 9th. No, we had a whole month. So I'm like, yeah, like he's saying I need to go to the hospital like right now, and I'm gonna stay in the hospital for the remaining of this pregnancy. So I have to, at this point, get my kids' stuff together. I already got 6 kids before this, so at this point I have to pack bags, call people, tell them I need them to watch after this child, that child, until we figure out what's gonna happen in this hospital. My husband like, well, I'm just gonna continue to go to work until they figure out, what they're gonna do. So that next day, fast forward, is March 18th. That was March 17th. The doctors come in, they talk to me like, listen, we got you scheduled for a C-section on such and such day. I'm like, a C-section? I ain't never had a C-section a day in my life. I pushed all my babies out. I was able to get up after I had my babies, and I was able to go buy my dang way. So I'm like, cool, kind of scared, kind of nervous, but I gotta have this baby. I gotta get out because I'm tired of being pregnant, and I'm ready to meet Miss Janae. So my husband comes after work. I tell him the plan. He meet with the doctors. They tell him the plan. March 19th at this point. I'm just sitting down waiting around when the OBGYN that was in charge of me while I was at the hospital, she said, oh no, I'm going to just sit you down on the 21st as an induction, and we're going to start your medicine. We're going to start your medicine that night before. So don't eat anything after 12, and you're going to go downstairs. We're going to start this process. So about 3 a.m. in the morning, they gave me the medicine to induce me to get my labor jumping. About 6, 7 a.m. that morning, I was headed downstairs to labor and delivery. I get to labor and delivery. I have this doctor that I'm unfamiliar with because my doctor, at the same time I'm going downstairs, had a C-section that she wasn't even out of. And then as soon as she came out of that one, she had another emergency C-section. So at this point, I'm nervous. I'm scared. Y'all remember, y'all, I told you I've never had a C-section a day in my life. What, Bubbles? So, the nurse come in. She's, so, okay, I'm gonna give it to you in a minute. So, the nurse come in and she like, check, hey, Miss Thomas, how you doing? How you feeling? I know you ready to have this baby. I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm ready to push. So, my contractions started slowing up. My uterus wasn't opening. They had to put a balloon in there. So they inflate a balloon inside of me. I'm like, oh my God, this feels so like yucky. This is supposed to help open my uterus up. But mind you, my uterus was being stubborn, didn't want to open up. And then it started opening up. The balloon had fell out. So I told y'all I'm gonna give it to y'all when I finish this. So my uterus started opening up, and I started to contract really bad. Like I felt like I was gonna have her. I thought I was gonna have her regular, but that didn't happen. So one of the day shift nurses, when she was introducing, it's fine. When she was introducing me to the night nurse, she was like, "I told you, remember that don't let this doctor do surgery because they say she's known to do surgery and don't really know what she's doing, or she like to do surgery because it's more money for her." So I'm like, "Well, she did that to me, so I don't know what y'all talking about." Janae, she's so bossy. So, she like, "This, you've been pushing all day. The baby part is dropping. We have to rush you into a cesarean. Dad, sign these papers. I'm gonna tell you this, that, and the third." So, we're going to surgery. I get in there. I'm already with my drip. They've already came to get my epidural, so I really don't feel much. But she starts cutting me under the impression that I am numb. So as she starts cutting, I'm like, I feel that. Like, help me. Like, help me. Like, this pressure is too much. Like, help me. She gives me another dose of something that's supposed to put me to sleep. So, sorry y'all, like, every time I think about this story, like, it does something to me.